Hello, everybody. Welcome. We have a surprise guest appearance there by Casper coming across my desk right as I was getting ready to start. So, yay for a Casper sighting. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Heart of a Hobbit here on the official Lotro Twitch channel, here Lotro Stream, twitch.tv/Lotro Stream, which you probably already know because you're here. But if you are watching this on video later, now you know where to find me on Tuesdays. So hi, Megan, good to see you. My goodness, it is warm at the moment. The sun is shifting around, as you might be able to see here. Feels so good though. I'm like, I love being in the sun indoors. I'm not big on being in the sun outdoors, because of maybe my complexion and all that might give it away. But Mama Bird, hello, welcome to the stream. Love the hearts and the flower. Good timing with springtime and everything. Excuse me, Merry March, welcome. Yes, I, for one, tune in for the cats. Of course you do. I mean, who wouldn't? Oh, he's gone over to scratch on the scratching post, which I'm very pleased to say that they make prolific use out of, which is fantastic. Their claws still get really, sharp, but so we do take them to the vet about every 3 months and get their claws trimmed, which is really good because it gives a chance for us to be like, hey, we're seeing this with these cats because they're getting older. We got them a year ago and they were 8 and 6 at the time, and we've been told that their birthdays, like they're born in April, so they're basically 9 as of one of them. Let's see, so Cato is 9 as of tomorrow, and then Casper will be 7 later on this month. So it's great. They're getting older, of course, and so they have different things you want to keep an eye on. So it was nice it's nice to be able to take them into the vet from time to time and be like, hey, there was a thing. So, which was really good because Casper was actually being a little hesitant with his food recently, and he had some bad teeth, and so it was good. They took a look, and he went in for surgery and had the teeth taken out, and everything is much better. So he seems to be he's been very, I wouldn't say cuddly in the sense like he doesn't come and sit on my lap. However, he is like, he's been really super cute these days. Like he, last night I was laying in bed and starting to fall asleep, and he came up and laid down on me, which is not what he normally does. So very exciting about that. There he's using the cat tree. The cat tree is basically made up of platforms and scratching posts, which is like, cat heaven, right? Hello, Aaron Bard. Good to see you there too. The package from before is in the mail, in case, I don't know if he told you that, but we were under the weather for a while and didn't really get out of the house for a bit. So it took a little longer than it meant to, but it's on your way. So Megan is loving this season change. Me too. So we moved into this house like a year and a half ago, and it's one of those where you're like, well, how long are we gonna be here? Are we gonna be here for like 10 years? Are we gonna be here 5 years? Are we gonna be here 20 years? Like, there's that hesitancy at first to make a lot of changes, and how much do you want to put down roots of things that you're gonna miss if you move too soon, or something like that. So I haven't done a lot with the garden out back, but this will be our third spring. Second spring, right? Second spring, because we moved in the fall, so then we've had a fall all the way around, and then so this will be our second spring, and I'm definitely itching to get some different plants in the backyard. I love lilacs, and I was reminded of this recently. There's a group where I have like a little chat. We text in a forum setting, and the topic last week was talking about flowers. And I was reminded about just how much I love lilacs. And there really aren't any lilacs in the neighborhood that I've seen. So I was like, man, I should just get a lilac bush and put it in my backyard, and it would make me very happy. So my plan is to go with a Dutch person tomorrow to a place called Intratown, which is it's a garden center, basically. And we're gonna go, and she's gonna help me translate, because I'm like, what is the word for lilac in Dutch? And she's like, do you mean lavender? I'm like, I don't mean lavender, because that is a different plant. I do know that much. So anyway, we're gonna go tomorrow, and she knows that it's sarin or something like that. And anyway, we're going to go tomorrow and hopefully get me some stuff for the backyard. She was talking about another thing that she really finds beautiful, which is like the things with little red flowers on them. I was like, that is actually quite beautiful. So if they have that there, I can smell it and see if I like that too. And maybe get that for the backyard too. Because we have an area that's already like a bed, and it's got grasses, like tall grasses and stuff in it. And there's a tree. Speaking of trees, in that, oh, he's up on top of the board games. I don't know if y'all can see him up there. You probably can't. He is up there and causing trouble. Yes, you are. He's in a funny mood today. On that table, there's a plant some friends gave me. It's a lemon tree, and it's still alive, but I wouldn't say it's thriving. But still alive is actually really good for me. I don't have good success with indoor plants. And as it turns out, the cats are assisting me with having less success with the indoor plants because I caught him chewing on it again the other day. So that's going outside as soon as I feel like the weather's not bad. Whoa, he's going to... Okay, all right. You are a goof. He jumped all the way from the top. Hey, silly boy. Yes, Megan says, what brought you guys to the Netherlands? And B4 says, an airplane, which is always my favorite answer to start with. But no, oh, Aaron Bars is liking the TARDIS in the background. Thank you very much. B4 actually made that for me. In our early days, we would occasionally have video chats because we weren't co-located. And he would have something that he was working on down here. So I knew he was like probably knitting something. And I couldn't quite see what it was. And then once he got close to completion, he sent me a few like teaser photos and stuff. It was great. So yeah, so he made me a TARDIS. Makes me very happy. Mara Marsh says my plants are all missing parts thanks to my cats, right? Which is why I'm definitely tempted to do more. This is why I want to do outdoor plants. Well, that and the fact that I'm having so much trouble with indoor plants. So I had the first time I had a plant live more than 6 months under my care, I was like in my early 20s, and I was very excited about it. So then when I got pregnant, like a few years later, I was like, okay, I might be able to keep a person alive too. The chances of success are improving. So, Megan, to answer your question though, for real, we were living in the U.S. I'm from America. Both of us are, myself and before. And we both grew up in the U.S. and spent most of our lives living in the U.S. With a few little spurts here and there of being in other countries. Myself, I lived in the UK for 2 years. Before, spent like some time with work in Korea. He's visited Japan, things like that. And I had a definite interest in getting out and seeing the world, visiting more places, and so that was also an interest of his. And so we then were like, well, let's do something about it. And we were both actually quite interested in not just visiting, but living elsewhere, you know, living outside the US and immersing ourselves in other cultures and and hopefully being able to travel and see other cultures in our travels. So, you know, so we were like, well, do we move to Asia? Do we move to Europe? Do we move, you know, like, where do we go? And so we kind of debated a number of different places. But long story short, the Netherlands kept coming up on the top of the list. And so we're like, well, let's try the Netherlands. And it was funny because oh, hey, there's an Aphrodite. Hello. All right, I took my floaty names off. You know, there was a part in my head that was like, well, you know, we'll go to the Netherlands, we'll see how it is, and then we'll figure out where we're, you know, like, is that where we're going to stay, or are we going to go somewhere else? Like, in the back of my head, I was like, well, you know, we might end up in Germany, we might end up in France, like, because I took French in high school. He's taken some German. I have probably some German ancestry, and I don't know, there's like a lot of stuff between Germany and the U.S. that has some very similarities to it. And so I thought, oh, you know, it's probably where we would end up. But oh my gosh, the longer we're in the Netherlands, like there was a point where every month we were in the Netherlands, I'm like, I am loving this place more and more than I did last month. Like, it was just like constant, like falling further and further in love with the Netherlands. And it's really funny because like we have visited Germany for various things. And I'm like, wow, this is like America, but not necessarily the good parts. Like, there's just cars everywhere. There's not a lot of bike paths like to get from one city to another. The busing is pretty good. But anyway, so we love the Netherlands. We're very happy here. We bought a house and hoping to stay as long as we can. So people are like, how long do you plan to stay? We're like, forever. So that's our hope. Abysmal says, hi, newcomer to your stream. Quick question. Your user interface. In between your character and your weapon panel, you have a little Hobbit door. What is that? That is my auto attack mode. So, you know what, honey? I'm going to have you close the curtain a little bit. I think I'm just like... No, I'm fine. I'm just thinking like I'm a little bit, shadow, in the shadow, as it were. Just maybe just a little bit of this. Yeah. We have some like thick curtains and then some thinner curtains, and we'll see. Yeah, it's a little dark. Yeah, I know, right? I'm like, silhouette. For the webcam, exactly. Yeah, the webcam is struggling with it. That was the problem. Yay, there we go. Maybe that's a little better. Thanks, honey. Okay, so that's my auto attack. I use UI skins. I love the UI skins. And cool, Moobot has put in the link there to lotrointerface.com. I use the JRR skins collection. And what it does is then if you go to your options, once you've installed it, once you've downloaded it, you can go to your UI settings here and you scroll about 2/3 of the way down and you'll see current user skin. So with the JRR skins collection, I have all of these choices now. And there's all sorts of different things. Like there's like kind of a icy blue and grays. There's some like really hard corners, edges, dwarven with spiky things. There's all sorts of really cool different skins. This one is actually is Delving Hills, so it is Hobbit themed. But there's also an elven one that I quite like, and it also has a lot of vines and that sort of thing. So I love all of those. So when I'm playing on somebody else's, like on a character that I don't play very often, because I do this with all my mains, but or like occasionally before and I will swap characters because he's much better at playing a minstrel than I am, and I'm much better at playing like a hunter than he is. And so we were trying to pair up for Ill Omens, and he played my hunter or my minstrel for me, and I played I think I played his Bjorning at that time, just because that was the pair that we wanted to send out. And so his stuff is like no UI, like just normal blue stuff, and I'm like, wow, how do you, this is so weird. Oh, Abysmal, you've been playing for 15 years and you never knew that. Yes, I'm so glad that we have introduced you to this. I love playing with the UI skins. I think it's so cool. Now, I will tell you that occasionally there's for example, with this one, there is a bug with the JR Skins collection. And unfortunately, I didn't have it in the previous version, but they updated the version and now I have the bug and I'm very sad. But see how my portrait over here kind of doesn't look like it's the right size? Like it's kind of small for the space. It looks like kind of a crescent moon around it. Unfortunately, that is going to keep getting smaller. My face is going to keep getting smaller and smaller every time I transition, I think, until it ends up as a little teeny dot and there's nothing left. So, and I had fixed it. Well, not fixed it. You can't, there's no fix as far as they know. If I go in, thank you, that's what I couldn't remember. If I go in and, so 3D object portraits. So currently right now it's like my face and stuff. So if I turn that off and it's just a boring portrait, then I don't have that problem. Like there's nothing there. But if I'm trying to portrait exit an instance, I have to find that little teeny dot in the corner that it becomes after a while. Or if I turn off 3D portrait animation, then I can just click anywhere in there and then it's back to normal. So that's the only thing that I don't like about the skins collection, but everything else I love about it. Oh, hey, we have some Raiders. Hello, Raiders Gaming with JT have joined. So, for example, in the skins collection, let me just show you a couple cute, cool things real quick. Oh, yeah, that's fine. So, like, if I'm browsing the shop, it does that there. It's got like a little cool little thing at the top. If I'm in the auction house, check that out. Like, it's got a Gandalf going on. We've got like a burrow up there. I love the look of it. Interesting. I'm not seeing my mouse showing up in this. I hope my mouse is showing up on the screen for you all. It's not. How weird.
There's an OBS option.
Huh. I don't know why that's not showing up all of a sudden. But, so I'll just point more with my fingers. So we got Gandalf in the center there. We've got a burrow up above. It's very cute. So they basically, the skin includes, has hit like all the different things you can do. And that's so much fun. So, yeah, it's really neat. So, Gaming with JT, I cannot help you with partnering or affiliation or anything like that. I don't work for Standing Stone Games. You would want to reach out to them directly. There's a link there in the chat, very conveniently. Thank you, Moobot. So yeah, you would want to just reach out to them. I don't know how they do the things that they do. I don't think they do affiliate stuff, but yeah, you could check. You could ask. Sorry. Now that the cat's not on top of the top of the board games, bring that back down a little bit. So, all right. Megan has downloaded a UI add-on this week just to make the main map smaller. Oh, yeah. The JR Skins collection, probably others as well, you can have your map only take up a portion of your screen, like take up just like 2/3 of what you're seeing here. And so that's what it does by default in the JRR Skins collection, but it tells you in the instructions over there on the Lothlórien site, the Lothlórien interface site, what lines of code you just basically take out, and then it makes the full screen map. So you've got the option to run with the partial map or the full screen map. I decided that I like the full screen map, and so I went back with that. So yeah, all right. So let me take a look here at OBS real quick. Game capture bar. Right click on your game capture.
In your sources.
Oh.
The thing that is the game.
Okay. And properties. And it has capture cursor.
Okay.
Maybe I'll just uncheck it and recheck it. Maybe it'll just, turn it off, turn it on again. Oh, OBS. OBS, Aaron Bard is asking, what is OBS? It is a program, and it's what I use to be able to show you the game happening over there and show you me here with the camera and all the other little bits and bobs that I do here. So for example, like up at the tippity top there where it has the name of, I've written in which server I'm doing. So I'm like, whoop, 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 whoop. So this is all OBS, this program. It does all this stuff for me. It's neat. I like it. I like, and before it's helped set it up for me to work, so. Yeah, thank you, Megan. Yep. I don't know why it's not working. Yeah. I won't worry too much about it because we are going to jump into the game anyway. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to check the ingredient crates. I apparently got them 23 hours and 55 minutes ago. Yes, and Abysmal points out that OBS is free, which is awesome. So I'm also going to talk to my friendly neighborhood Wenda. Oh, you know what I did? So I was trying to get a picture of Bingo earlier, and I wanted to get him without his ring over his head. And let's see, I think it's quest is the keyword. Oops, no, don't show me all. Don't listen to me. UI settings, overhead quest icons. I turned that off so I could get a nice picture, but I really want that back. So I'm going to accept that. Now Wenda has her ring back over her head. Thank you.
Could I speak with you a moment?
Excellent. Yeah, speak with you a moment. So I'm a VIP player, and so what I can show you is the VIP experience. I was a free-to-play player at the beginning, And I once I switched over to being a subscriber and all the benefits that come with that, I've really been very happy with that. And so I will absolutely say you do not ever have to spend a single coin, of real life money on Lotro. And if that's if you don't want to spend any money on Lotro, please don't. Like just play the game. You can totally do so much with free to play. I personally am in a situation where this is one of the places where I choose to spend, some of our disposable income, and the quality of life that it brings to me is worth it for me. So that's so. But I just want to make sure you all don't think, oh no, I have to go and buy stuff. You don't. You absolutely don't have to buy stuff. I like to, but you don't have to. But this is one of the perks that you can get as a VIP. So that's what I'm doing right now. So you talk to Wanda Cranesbill. She says she's a VIP rewards vendor. And she gives you, she basically gives you a quest, and then you're like, yes, I would like to finish this quest. She's like, cool, finish the quest. Boom, we have stuff. And she gives me this little bauble. Oh, now you can see my mouse again. Hooray. Which is the Subscriber Town Services, which is awesome. And that allows me to bring up this menu anytime I want. Like out in the world, I don't have to go and find a vendor to empty my bags, to sell things. I can get to my vault, I can get to my shared storage, I can get to the auction house. So I find that really helpful. And this little bauble lasts for 14 days. So I just put it over on my little sidebar so I can access it really easy. And then the second thing she gives you is the subscriber's jug. It says it expires in 5 hours and 58 minutes. What it means is it's going to disappear. It's going to go poof in 5 hours and 58 minutes. But the benefits of it, so I'm going to click on it. And you see how I've used it. It has applied the benefits to me. Those last for 14 days. So I have 14 days of faster crafting time and no itemware, like all of my weapons and gear. No item wear. It's not going to degrade at all from combat, crafting, or defeat. So that's really fun. I find that super useful. Aaron Bard was asking if OBS is difficult to learn. Abysmal says no, it is dead easy to get into. And the walkthroughs on YouTube are super easy to follow. That's true. That's what I would do, is go to YouTube and start watching some videos on how to use it. Yeah. Aaron Bard points out that when you go VIP, you get additional storage and wardrobe slots. When you go off of a VIP, you lose some of that additional storage and wardrobe slots. So do be aware of that. Which means I can never go off of VIP because I have a full wardrobe. Velestra says, good morning, afternoon, evening. Hello to you as well. Yes, it's evening for us. We are getting the evening sun coming straight across our faces at this time. So, yeah. Okay, let's see. Oh, before I forget also, today is the last time you will see me streaming with all of this hair because I have an appointment to go tomorrow and I'm going to get it cut really short so that way I can have some ponytail braid things and I can donate those away. So enjoy the chaos of my long hair. This is the longest it's going to get for now, I think, because I know it doesn't seem that long. Like, I know if you look at it, you're like, that's not that long, but it feels long and it's driving me nuts. So it'll be, yeah, exactly, Megan. That'll be nice in summer. I know I'm going to go really short. I mean, maybe not like, well, I was going to say Katie Lang short. You all probably don't even know who that is. Not like super, super short, but hopefully there'll be some fun stuff. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see how short I end up going. All right. So what are we here for? We are going to go talk to Bingo. We're going to go hang out with Bingo Boffin because we have just left him in the dust. So let's head over to Lothlórien. Hey, look at you with that read emote. Very nice. This is something you can get from the current legendary item experience track. So if you have a character who has their legendary items and and they're at least level 51, I think. Or no, just have your legendary items. You've gone through the quests to get those. That's what it is. Then you will start earning on this legendary items reward track. It basically gives you more stuff you can use to get stuff for your legendary items. I don't want to block you, but I want to show this thing. Anyway, so it goes up to 100 levels, all the way, zoop, all the way up there. At levels 25, 50, 75, and 100, they've started putting in some fun stuff. So at level 50, this time, was the legendary Coffer of a Good Book, which gave you the /read emote, which is what Affodil is doing right here for us. Yay! I think it's great. I love the way it looks. It's fun. Now we just need, like, I don't know. There's a whole bunch of things we need. We also, it would be kind of fun to have a knitting or crocheting emote. Wouldn't that be fun? Okay. Anyway. Sorry, did you say something? I was distracted. Indeed. All right. Let me take us to Lothlórien. Oh. Also, I was thinking that I'm still in my cold weather. Look at that yawn. I'm in my cold weather outfit. Like, it's a good outfit. It's good for, like, you know. Oops, now I've turned myself around. See, look at that. I love the way the purples came out on the it's the Ranger's outfit. But I think it's time for something a little more springy. So I was trying to look through my outfits real quick earlier. So let's take a quick look. So I don't think, yeah, that's still kind of winter. That was a great outfit for running around in Moria. I love that outfit. With that pipe on the hat, so good. Yeah, something more springy. Like, that one's cute. It's a good adventuring outfit, but it feels more fall. That one is definitely, like, I used that one for Halloween last year. It was hilarious. That one, winter. That one just says winter all over it, doesn't it? That one also feels very wintertime. I feel like I must have just not cleared out my wintertime outfits. There we go. Okay, so that might work. And then this was another good adventuring outfit that I really liked, but I might just write it down and then put a different outfit in here. Okay, so I think we're going to go with this springy outfit here. And yeah, we should. Awesome. So we've got a pail of apples. We've got our pretzel. Got to have the pretzel. I'm a hobbit on the go. Got to have food. All right, there we go. I think that'll be good. That's a good spring outfit for now, even though spring, yeah, because the spring festival's over, which means we're heading towards the Midsummer Festival. So anyway, okay, here we go. Let's go find Bingo. So let's see. Last, when we talked to Bingo, all right, he says, my belly is delightfully full, and I'm ready to continue our journey. I've spoken with a few of the elves here. Sorry, my monitor's all dusty. I can't read it. Just borrow some of the cat stuff. He says, I've spoken with a few elves here, and they've told me about a small outpost to the south of Lothlórien. The outpost is called Haldirith, and the folk there can guide us as we move south along the banks of the Great River. He says, are you ready to go? I am very curious to see the scenery, and I am hoping for a little more sunshine than the grim canopy the Mirkwood provided for us. So we've already gone through this whole scene where he was like wanting to learn more about the elves, and they kept stacking him up with books. So I figured he was fine hanging out in Lothlórien. He had plenty to read. All right, so we're going to go ahead and accept that. And we need to go find him in the Great River, which conveniently is where we have been questing with our kinship. In fact, let me go and remove all of that. Oh, this is a little trick. If you guys don't know this, let me show you this, because I learned this. I learned it at some point, and I was like, this is neat. So, you know how you have, like, your quests over here on the side? I'm trying to get, like, there we go, give you some good background to see it. So, you know you have the quests over on the side, and they have little rings next to them. So, if you normal left click on it, it just opens it up in the quest log, right? And you can be like, oh, okay, there it is. And there's all the other things in the same area. And you can like manually go and just be like, oh, okay, I'll unclick that, whatever. But if you right click on the ring, you've got options. So you could show it in the quest log, which is the same thing we just did. You can display fellowship status. You can lock it so it doesn't go off your scroll. Find others on the quest. Set as quest guide focus. I use that sometimes because sometimes it's, see how it's got the little arrow and it's pointing through the ring at one of these? So that's where the arrow on my screen is trying to send me. But maybe I was like, no, I really want to go to this one. This is the one I need to find. So I can switch it to that manually, force it. If I'm like, okay, I just don't need to look at that one, I can remove it and it's off of my list. But let's say I'm like, I'm done with all these. I'm going to remove all and boom, they're all gone. So that's neat. Oh, Aaron Bard. Aaron Bard says this is right before where I am in the bingo quest. So for spoilers' sake, I'm going to bow out. Have a great day. All right, sounds good. Yeah, we'll probably be doing bingo. Well, it depends on how far he takes us. Check back in an hour because we might have out bingoed ourselves. And then we'll find something else to do. Yeah, Manandler says been playing, the feeling when playing for 12 years and had no idea you could do this, right? Right? Like, that's why I'm like, all these little tricks that I find, I'm like, I have to share this with you guys because there's so many things. Yeah, like B4 says, the Lothlórien UI has so many hidden gems. So it's really funny when I'll see somebody in World and they're like, oh, this game is so annoying, you can't do blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yes, you can. It's right, it's over here. Let me show you how to find that. So yeah, there's lots of little things that they have built in, little quality of life things. And I think that's the thing is like, excuse me, my nose is itchy a little bit. My nose is so dry on the outside because this cold that we've had, I've blown my nose a lot, so my poor skin. Anyway, over the years, I mean, this game is almost 16 years old. It's coming up on its 16th anniversary with the Anniversary Fest later on this month. So there's so many little things that they've just like put in over those, that decade and a half of quality of life improvements. So I don't think there's any way any one person could know all of it. Like even the people who work at SSG, I've noticed there'll be times where they're like, oh, I didn't know I could do that because there's just so much. Like there's no way you could know everything. Oh yeah, like before it mentions, I don't like it when random people send me whispers. You can turn that off. You can be like, no, only people who are in my fellowship can send me an instant or an IM here in the game, or fellowship or kidship or whatever. Like you can, cut that back. So no talking to strangers. You're in camouflage. Yeah, right. Go into the trees. Yes, you are. That's great. Where did she go? We can't see her. Hidden Gem is one of my favorite titles. I like that. Okay, so we're going to do... Oh my gosh, are you sitting down? You are. Oh, look at that. You are really well hidden. Of course, I can see your name. Duh. I could just look for that. Okay, but I did actually want to keep track of the bingo one. So let's put the Ballad of Bingo Boffin back up. Bye-bye. Okay. There we go. So we're going to talk to Bingo in Thinglad along the Great River. This is why I was like, we got to do Bingo because like we're running around with our kinship along the Great River and I'm like, Bingo's supposed to be here. Where's Bingo? But that's okay. We can do it by hand, do it separately from our stuff. So that way I can just like show you all at once. So now, we're not going to talk to Elrahar and Eladan. That's a encounters thing. So let me show you on the map where we are. And so there's a stable master there. And we're here in just south of, coming out the entrance of Caras Gladden. We want to go down here to the Great River. We want to go down to Thinglad. So a couple things you could do. Oops, let me go back. You can take a stable master and get yourself over here if you've explored Lothlórien a lot. If you haven't explored Lothlórien a lot, then you can just ride over land. We can go ahead and do that and show you what that looks like. All right, so do you want to lead the way? Okay, we'll follow Affodil here. We'll just go through beautiful, beautiful Lothlórien. Whoops, missed a turn. Oh yeah, got to take the bridges when you can because man, there's not so. Oops, looks like I got a little rubber banding there. Uh-oh. Because there's only so many bridges in Lothlórien, and if you need to get to the other side of the river, you better take that bridge when it shows up. Now, we've already done a lot of questing. We are actually these characters on Treebeard. Treebeard is a legendary server, and I can explain a little bit more about that if y'all have questions. I know I've talked about it like almost every week it seems like, but there's always somebody who's not familiar with it. So I'm like, I will absolutely explain what it is. We are also on characters that we are doing completionist, and so we are doing like almost every quest that we come across, and so we have been very prolific here in this zone. So we've already gotten, I think, all of the stable masters in the area. Oh, cool. Smashville Dad says, made a new captain recently on Treebeard. Enjoying the changes so far. Nice. Yeah, I have not spent a lot of time playing a captain or a warden, which are the ones that I know they made all those changes to recently. What's that? So there's the stable master here. This is the one in the vineyards that if you were trying to get over to here, that's the one you would take. And then you would go, you have to go back out a little bit, and then you can start heading along the river and head down that way. Oh, I should put my tracker on. I'll pick up branches. Speaking of, hang on, I'm going to go back and pick those up. We just passed them. I'm going to grab them. So in Lothlórien, they have some animals that are protected, and so if you take out a protected animal, you lose reputation with the elves of Lothlórien. So, you know, be careful about that. Hang on, I need some lotion. Apparently, we've been working on... So some of you have heard some of these stories already, but we've been working on the upstairs. I'll just give you the short version. We've been working on the upstairs, and now we're laying laminate. And so, like, my hands are getting a little more rough. So, yeah. Manhandler, oops, I'm out of range. What's that? You found some rich scarn. I was too far behind you. Manhandler says, yes, the brave Sir Robin technique works with me for those. Yeah, if you end up hitting one by mistake, just run away. Eventually they'll stop pursuing you, and you can be like, okay, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to shoot you. I'm so sorry. Or, you know, you could do the, what is it? We kept doing the, that thing right inside the gates of Lothlórien, of Caras Gladden, where you go up and you, Defense of Lothlórien, is that what it's called? We kept doing that over and over again with our kinmates, because there's like associated quests, and so you do the quest, and then you do the next quest, and then you do the next quest. You know, it's like you do level 1, and then you do level 2, and then 3, and then 4. Sorry. And then we were going through that with our kinmates, and that was cool. So we get reputation with Lothlórien with that. So, you know, you'd hit an animal, and then you'd go back and get your rep, so it's all right. Yeah, it was, yeah, there were deeds for a bunch of repetitions. So I think, yeah, we ended up having to do it 10 times to get all of the deeds completed, which was fine. Okay, so here we go. We have found him along the banks of the Great River.
Oh.
He says, well, that was a brisk, enjoyable walk. And I've already noticed a change in the scenery as we leave the golden wood behind us. The trees here are still lovely, but they are smaller, and their beauty is of a different sort than those in Lothlórien proper. I should write down my impressions before I forget to do so. He takes out a jar of ink, removes the stopper, and stares inside with dismay. My ink pot has quite run dry. There's only enough ink remaining for the very briefest of descriptions, and that simply will not do. Of course not. He says, do you remember the books you brought to me from Penaseth? One of them spoke at great length, I can imagine, about the art of the elves. They must know a thing or two about the importance of ink in creative endeavors, and perhaps can lend us an ink pot's worth. Ask some of the folk here at Halderith and see if any of them have an artistic bent and can help us. And also, Bert Bartleby has arrived at the outpost here along the Great River. So Bert Bartleby, if you haven't done the Bingo Boffin quest line, you know, it starts off in the Shire at Bingo's house, and it kind of parallels a bit of Bilbo Baggins's adventures. Not entirely. Sometimes it branches off into some of the more Fellowship style stuff, but in general, he's kind of a Bilbo Baggins style guy. So as you're going through, and he slowly progresses further and further and further away from the Shire, he has a barter guy. Where is he? Is he easy in here? Oh yeah, no, that's the stable master. Where is Bert? Oh, there he is. So he has his own barter because he gives you get bingo tokens as you complete these quests, and so he has his own barterer, Bert Bartleby, who kind of travels around the same places that he does, and so you can go find Bert Bartleby and spend your tokens
collected many fine items
with him.
during
So,
my
for
travels.
example, I can get a small map of bingo in Mirkwood. I could get a large map of bingo in Mirkwood. I could get a sturdy frying pan. I know who's getting one of those. I could get a soup tasting spoon. And so that would be a thing that you'd hold in your hand as a cosmetic, probably. Yeah. Or I could also get the Tome of the Brown Snake. Well, I'm going to get one of those because I don't have one of those yet. Yeah, hi. Here he is. Yeah, do you hear? I don't know if you heard him, made a little chirp there. So that's kind of newer. He's a much more silent guy. And then recently, I think maybe because of the teeth being gone, now he feels maybe a little bit better and more apt to vocalize. So, yeah. So, all right, so I got myself a brown snake pet. Now, this top one here, this Bingo's Hat Rack, and it says Bingo's Hat Rack, comma, Mirkwood. So there's this whole chain, and you can see the pictures on the Lothlórien wiki, which makes me very happy because I go there sometimes to look at them all. You can buy Bingo's Hat Rack back in the Shire. And then as you slowly progress, Bert will take the old hat rack and give you a new one, which has an extra hat on it. And then the next place, you give him that one, he gives you a new one that has another hat on it. And so by the time you finish, you end up with this hat rack that is just dripping with hats. So I've gone through and done that once, and that was fun. So, but as it is, I usually just like the plain one, or well, the plain one is nice to have because I put that by the door as if it's waiting for people to use. And then I also like getting one with a couple of hats on it. So there's the new snake. Sneak, sneak, sneak. Very nice. Okay, so we're supposed to be looking for somebody who might have a pot of stuff, of ink. Let's talk to this elf over here.
I do not have any ink.
He says,
may
"It is a
still be
pleasure
able
to
to
meet you,
help."
and I sympathize with the plight of your friend Bingo. For the ink to run dry when the ideas still flow is truly a sad occurrence, one with which I am all too familiar. I must confess that I do not have an ink pot for your friend, for this outpost is a place of watchfulness, not of creation. But I might still be able to help. You see, I know of a way to make a high-quality ink from ingredients found along the banks of the Anduin. So if you grind up a certain type of dark mud with special riverside reeds, you can obtain a thick pigment. Hey, sweet. Adding water to this pigment will serve your friend well. If you do as I instruct, he will be writing again with little delay." All right, so we got to go over to the river, and we're going to collect some reeds and some dark mud. And we'll see if we can't make a good paste. All right. So this is an outpost where you'll find yourself coming and going a lot when you come into this part of the Great River. Find scarn, got it. Yeah. Find branches, got it. These are heavy. It'll be a minute because I gotta lift them up. They're heavy like a box of laminate. I'll tell you, those boxes of laminate are not light. All right, let's go find some reeds and some mud and a cat. Cat's gone again. They've been so cute. With the sun has been a bit more around the last couple of days. We had some weeks of some pretty, I don't know, I'd almost call it dreary weather. It was very cloudy. We had a lot of rain. So there wasn't a lot. But lately though, we've been getting some lovely, lovely sunshine. So the cats have been hanging out on the couch that's over here behind me here. In fact, I think, there's each one. So he's gone over to lay down in the sun on that couch, and then she's over on the other couch, which is a little bit more in the shade. So it's really cute because they'll both be like laying on the sunny couch, and then like one of them will get down and go lay down in the shadier part of the room for a little bit. It's like their version of doing a hot tub or something, maybe. But it's very sweet. I'm glad they're happy with the... Oopsie. There we go. All right, got some mud here. So, let's see. Manandler says, tip for Deco fans. Who isn't? Bingo's recommended reading, available at Gloin's camp, is an actual useful light source. Oh, really? I'll have to check. Oh, I don't know if I know about this. No more dark corners needed if you use this quest chain. Which Gloin? Oh, okay, so I was like, which Gloin's camp? But I suppose it would not be the one at, because there's no Bert Bartleby at the, with the goblins, is it, right? So that would be at Gloin's, the normal Gloin's place. That's cool. So it's a decorating item, but it doesn't follow you around, right? Like it's a housing item? Thank you. V4's put the link, the Misty Mountains, thank you. For some reason, my words and location were not connecting. It feels like forever since we've been in the Misty Mountains. I think that's part of it. Okay, it just sits there. Okay, good to know. Well, I was like, is it something that kind of comes along with me and it helps, create some light? Okay, it's like a little reading table. Nice. I might have that. I'll have to go back and take a look for that. Because I went ahead and got the Bilbo Baggins that kind of travels, that you can have as a, not travels, but like the housing one. Yeah, a house guard, a property guard. So I got the Bilbo Baggins at my house. And I might have got the recommended reading and put it next to him. I know I've got the things that you can get, those reading stands that you can get as part of his and Frodo's birthday celebration. So I always make sure I get those, and then I put a couple of those around the room. We'll go take a look here in a little bit, because I think they might be at the Kin house, so I can go over there and take a look. Super cute. So yeah, so I've got so Bilbo can hang out in our Kin house, and he's got like I've turned the room your camouflage again. That was awesome. That room where the chest is, I basically turned that into like a library, and so there's like bookshelves along the walls, and it got a reading spot for him, and he stands there and he does the read emote. It's great. Let's see. There you go. High contrast mode. Now I can see you. Grind ingredients into pigment using the grinding stone back in Haldrith. Okay. All right. Oh, there's some Kalinard nearby. You're like, Oh, you know what? There's some branches over here. I'll grab those while you're getting the Kalinard. So it's so funny because sometimes people are like, I need to do whatever, crafting, and I don't have the materials. Does anybody have the materials? And so I'll be like, let me check. And I often do. And this is why. Because I have my tracking on. If it's anywhere close to within range, I'm just going to veer off a little bit and grab it, as long as it doesn't like cause me to fall behind what everybody else is doing, basically. If we're running around with kin and stuff like that. But yeah, that's the tip I have. If anybody's ever looking for tips on like how do you make sure you get stuff, that's what I do. Is like if I'm out and about, turn on your tracker and pick stuff up when you're out and about. And now, like you can see, there's like one over here. I'm not going all the way over there. There's one over here. Yeah, it's close-ish. Nah. So you know what I mean? Like I don't get every single one necessarily, but it's definitely worth it to like keep an eye on it and grab a good majority of it, I would say. So, let's see. Can't quite pronounce your username, but somebody was asking about the lag in Evernight. Yeah, I wish I had an answer for that. I don't work for Standing Stone Games, so I don't know. I have no insider information. Okay, so we've used the water bucket and we used the grinding stone and we've made some pigment. And we're going to take this ink over to Bingo. Now, so to your question on lag, though, Severlin is the executive producer of Lotro, and occasionally he will come on here and do like a Q&A and stuff. So I would say keep an eye out for when the next time they're doing that. because he usually has some more in-depth answers about what they're doing to address the lag. And so the problem is that, it's a 16-year-old game, and technology changes over time, right? And so there's a lot more going on in the game than the infrastructure. Like, you built a house for this, but then you ended up building this, and so they're able to obviously modify things and change things. But when you're changing things in the foundation, you have to make sure you don't knock the whole house down. So I think really that's kind of what they're dealing with, is how to make changes that are going to have an impact without having a bad impact, right? But again, so Cordovan is the SSG community manager, and he streams on here on Fridays at noon Eastern US time. So just convert that to whatever time zone you're in. And he can tell you the next time that Severlin is going to be on. So that's what I would say is, check in with that crowd, because Cordovan does work for SSG. Obviously, Severlin does. Severlin's the executive producer. And then, so those are the two that stream on here that are SSG employees. And then occasionally also Scenario, once a month roughly, will stream. But he's a world builder. And so he can talk about why we designed it this way, why we put these things here, some of the design choices they've made. But he's not going to be able to, he's not an engineer in the lag stuff. So he's not going to be able to talk to that. But he also streams on this channel, and he's very interesting to watch. It's just not, he doesn't know how to fix the lag either. It's not his wheelhouse, right? So, yeah. So I wish I had an answer, right? I think really what it is, they're just they're trying different things that should incrementally make it better and better, and hopefully give it long-term success. So I think that's the thing too, right? Just my guess. And I'm not a software engineer, but I play one on TV. I have a project management IT degree, so I mean I'm like IT adjacent, right? And I've also seemed to have an affection for people who are software engineers. So anyway, just my guess is that they are trying to address it in ways that will not just put a Band-Aid solution on it, but will solve it for many years to come. That would be my guess. And that's a little bit of a harder nut to crack. So I'm glad they're doing that work though. And now I spend most of my time on Treebeard. Treebeard is a legendary server. It has a much smaller population because it's only been around it'll be 2 years this coming end of June. So we don't experience lag like you do on, say, Evernight, where you've got a gazillion and a half people. It's a very different, so I notice it when I go to other servers. I play on Lothlórien on Friday nights, and I'm like, oh, look, there's a little bit of lag. So, but yeah, so I'm looking forward to them continuing to work on that, though, because I know the lag is really frustrating. I empathize with you, and I wish I had an answer for you. I wish they had an answer for us. So, but like I said, they are working on it, which I'm very grateful for that. So, okay, so what else we got going on here? So, Ziriana says, just started playing this a few weeks ago, and I'm absolutely loving this wonderful game. Yay! And you're on Arkenstone. That's awesome. I just love you legit don't want to play anything else but Lotro. Yeah, I get it. I've been playing for more than 4 years at this point. And I'm still so in love with this game. Just how gorgeous it is, and just it's stunning sometimes too, right? Before back on the lag thing, says that SSG has told us that the problem is both multifaceted and something that they're working on all the time. So, I mean, they are working on it. They're not just whatevs. They actually are working on it. Let's see. So, Cool Witch doesn't notice much lag on Brandywine, though you hear world chat complain about it. Yeah, it's really funny because I noticed that too when I'm on somewhere else like Lothlórien or whatever. And people will be complaining about lag in the chat, and they're like, is everybody else lagging here? I'm like, a bunch of people are like, not me. No, just you. Now, I will say that I was running off of an older laptop, and I was lucky enough to be able to upgrade to a nice PC, and so I've got more processing power and like memory and I don't know, all the different things, and the various things that you wouldn't want to have for all the stuff that we're doing, like all these graphics and all the stuff, and any lag and sort of things, issues I was having, like, dissipated. So I would definitely say that whatever hardware you're running on will have a potential impact. So yeah. So I'm really glad that, I'm like, woohoo. So yeah, let's see what, before it says a problem with lag, it says not very specific, right? Could be network lag, could be computational lag, which is what I was running into on the client side. Could be computation lag on the server side, could be a database issue. All of these things can, cause an issue with player experience, and they all have different causes and different solutions, right? So imagine your SSG, and you're like, well, is it your computer? Is it our servers? Is it our code? Is it, it's like, it could be all of these, could be any of these. So anyway, so Ziriana got VIP and the expansions, and will definitely continue supporting this game. Awesome. Yeah, I don't know if you were here at the beginning, but I am also VIP. I love it. I like all the little quality of life things that it brings to me. And I'm just, I'm having so much fun. And I end up buying all the little carry-alls and like, it's crazy. Oh, Mithril coins are on sale right now. Hang on. What's my Mithril coin? Okay, I have 1,000 Mithril coins here. Mithril coins hardly ever go on sale. Like, they are available for sale, but they are rarely on sale. And I think at 20% off right now. Here, we'll double check the Lotro store. So I want to remember before because it'll only go through Thursday. I've got to remember to check all of my servers and make sure I've got all the Mithril coins that I want there. Yeah, 20% off right now. So now's the time to get in on the Mithril coins if you need some. Yeah. Oh, if you haven't bought there's this travel skill to Lalia's Market, which is right in the middle of Bree, where the boar fountain is. It costs you 3 Mithril coins, and you could get, so the lowest amount of Mithril coins you can purchase is 5. So you could buy 5 Mithril coins right now for 40 Lotro points instead of 50. And I love that travel skill. I try to get it with every like main character that I'm playing, because you can use it. It has a separate cooldown from all your other travel skills. It's super convenient to get you in and out of Bree, and especially like in your early levels when you're like level 10, you're like, I wish I could just go to Bree for a second. Like, boom, you're just there. It's so good. It's so awesome. So let's see. Ziriana says definitely worth it. We're supporting Lotro. Yep. Got your first premium house. Nice. In Kingstead. Oh my gosh. When the Rohan housing came out, we went a little bit nuts about it. And so they had the previews. There's a preview server called Bull Roar, and they open it up usually like a Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And you for like 48 hours, and so you can go in there and just test some things that they're working on, and you give them feedback and just be like, make sure they don't miss something, or there's only so much testing you can get with like your internal folks. You need some external folks to go in there and actually break things and show you where they're going to break things, right? So it's great. You could go in there and play, be in the playground, and so there was something big coming out, like I don't know, like Fate of Good to Bad or something like that. And so they had Bull Roar open for that, but it was the same time that Rohan housing was coming out. And so we go in, and everybody else is like off doing all this, big questing stuff. And we're like, housing, let's go check the new houses. So that was awesome. That was a lot of fun. So, Rohan housing is very pretty, says before. I agree. You're level 46. What are you playing, Zariana? So I'm playing a Hobbit Hunter here. That's my main. There's my little rose and bloom. Let's see, and Affodil, before my husband, my sweetie over here, is playing Affodil, and she is a Hobbit minstrel. So you're an elf hunter. Nice, good combination. That is a classic. I started with elves. Actually, my first character was a dwarf. And then I kind of transitioned into elves. And then at some point I transitioned into hobbits once I learned how to move the camera around a little better, because I had trouble like seeing, because I would just have like the camera like here. And, you know, as a hobbit, like as soon as you get into grasses and you're like, okay, I can't see, I don't know where anything is, I can't find anything, like what's going on here? So I found that really frustrating. But then once I learned how to like adjust the camera angle and find something that worked for me where I'm like a little bit up and above, like I'm a kite, you know, just following along. Yes, the flowers are hobbit sized. Oh, these aren't so bad. Yeah, these I can see above. That's better. So, so then once I started playing hobbits, I kind of been like really big on hobbits. Now, I do really enjoy high elves too, because they have this really cool dance number 3, is really nice. And I love the way they tumble when they jump off of something. They do this like little tumble. And also I like the way they ride horses and how they whistle. They're like, woo, and they'll whistle for their horses. And then they get up on the horse. So a high elf is, so all my characters now, every time I make a new character, she's either a high elf or a hobbit, almost all the time. And really hobbit's kind of my default these days. As much as I like the high elves, I'm really, really just jamming with the hobbit stuff. So, okay. All right. So, oh, you talking about my character? Sorry. Cool, which says that character is still not at max level. I'm at max level for the server that I'm on, because our server max is 75 over here on Treebeard. So technically, yes. So Ziriana made an elf hunter, and your husband is a dwarf hunter. So you're out though, both out there, pew pew. Hey, you know what? We have been running around recently with another hunter, an elf hunter, and she is all yellow line. So she's maxed out with the traps and all of that good stuff. And it's been so much fun. I forget how much fun the yellow line is. Oh, Cool Witch, your elf hunter was your first character in 2007, and that character's not at max level. Okay, that makes sense. That's funny. You know what, though? My first character is also not at max level, so I understand that. So Mama Bird says, wanting to come back to the game, what is Treebeard? Where are we in Treebeard? What zone, what expansion? We are in the Great River, which is why we're doing bingo in the Great River right now, actually. Yeah, so we're level 75 is the max of the server, and we have access to the Great River and Isengard. So we've done a lot of the Isengard. Well, that's a little far in. Yeah, we did like a lot of this stuff and the marching up there and all of that stuff. So that's where we are on Treebeard. And then Cordovan went ahead and included when the server, this one and Shadowfax, when they go up in level in his yearly thing, in the yearly schedule this time, which was great. So I keep this in my biography so I can look it up real easy. Oh, I suppose I should move the Spring Festival up there. That's already finished. So Treebeard goes up to level cap 85. We're going to get Rohan and Wildermore, and that happens on June 7th. So you've definitely got more time to catch up and just play around if you wanted to on Treebeard. Like if you were like, I want to be max, or you don't need to be max, whatever. Yeah, B4 says, I think my highest character is almost at 140. Yeah, mine's in the 130s, and that's just because of Festival. Oh, Mama Bird, you love the game, but you're wondering if there's lots of people to group with at low level. Yeah, and yeah, B4 definitely says there can be different servers are more active at different levels. Yeah, and Manhandler's advice that it absolutely depends on the server. The higher the population, the more new folks and low-level characters you're going to run into. So yeah, I would say that is probably your best bet, is find a server where... so now each server kind of has its own like personality as well. So, excuse me. So finding a server that kind of fits your personality, that could also help. And I don't know if you're in the U.S., North America area, or if you're in Europe, or if you're somewhere else. Because there's 2 clusters of servers, and even though they're physically now co-located, they weren't when they originally were created. And so there's an EU group of servers and a US group of servers. Now, anybody can be on any server they want, doesn't matter, but people tend to clump up a little bit on those servers. So, for example, I enjoy playing on the European servers because the European stuff is just different. Like what's on your mind, what's happening, you know, like when our weather was crazy last summer, like people would talk about that. As opposed to like people in the US are like, what do you mean a drought? What are you talking about? Like, you know, it's just not, yeah. So it's neat for me to talk to kind of my geographical neighbors, as it were. Yeah, so I enjoy being on a server with other geographical neighbors. So I tend to enjoy being on the EU servers a little bit more than the US servers. On the other hand, Landreval is great, and it's a US server. It has a very strong music culture, which is fantastic, and I love that. The only problem with that is they do tend to run their music stuff in US time, so it's like 8 o'clock in the evening, Eastern time in the US, and I'm like, that's like 2 o'clock in the morning, so I'll be in bed. So, yeah. Manhandler says, ask me about my entire kinship live blogging the Eurovision Song Contest. Right? Like the US servers, nobody cares about Eurovision, but like you get onto the EU servers and we're like, oh my gosh, 4 weeks? Oh, I've hardly, oh my gosh. Okay, well, I just need to get that on. I need to get that on my calendar. Like, I need to get prepped on that. Because, oh my gosh. Yeah, Edgar Arthur says, on EU servers, watch out for the term football and first floor, because they don't mean the same thing as they do on a US server. See, exactly. Those are the sorts of things I mean. Like, when people say, well, how, you know, like, we're asking about our house. Hey, baby, you want to come up? Ooh, hand me the treats bag. Sweetie? Hand me the treats bag. Hi, can you hand me the... Yeah, thank you. So yeah, we have ground floor, first floor, second floor, right? And so people are like, you know, talking about our Benjamin floor, we're like, well, they're on the first floor. And you tell that to a US person, and they're like, what? Oh, he is zonked out on the bed. This is Kato here. She's 9 as of tomorrow. Yay! Happy early birthday. Sorry, that's a bit loud probably. So, all right. And then, yes, of course, football means, you know, the round ball that you kick up and down the field. You don't touch it with your hands, unless you're the goalie, unless you're the keeper. So, yeah. So as I was mentioning, there is an events schedule that Cordovan puts out. V4 has helpfully put that link out there. You can find it both on Lotro.com and the Lotro forums. So, yeah. Yes, it's very straightforward. How many floors away from the main entrance are you? Ground? 0. Are you 1 floor up? Then you're on the first floor. Are you 2 floors up? Then you're on the second floor. I mean, come on. Easy peasy. All right. Let's go ahead and talk to Bingo.
I wonder.
All right, so we've brought him this ink
interest
that we've
nearby
created
that
from
suit
Stuff by
my
the River.
book.
He says, what high quality ink. I cannot believe you were able to make such a fine ink so quickly and with such common ingredients. This must be the ingenuity of the elves, truly. I will get to work writing once again. Could you ask Mayor Vordor, the elf around the corner? Bye. I gave her the treats and she's out. Ask him if there's any more points of interest nearby that would suit my book. Be sure to tell him that I'm writing an account that should be both exciting and true. So I hope any place he suggests will be ripe for adventure. Okay. Yes, metric is much simpler too, if only I spoke it. I don't drive over here, interestingly enough. I just don't need to. Also, I just don't enjoy driving anymore. And so in a car, I could tell you about, like, I had a good reference of idea of like how far a mile was, but I don't have a good, I'm still working on internalizing what it feels like to go a kilometer. Now, I do work on it in the sense of like how far are like the things I go to. And how many kilometers is that? And that's helping me get some sort of a reference. But I still struggle to convert miles and kilometers. I just remember like a 5K is like 3 and some miles. And so there's that. But it's, I don't have a good, I can't just like.
Bingo to have come so far.
Whereas with temperature, I'm getting a lot closer. Well, it's not quite. There's definitely times when I'm like, I can tell you that in Fahrenheit, I like a 75-degree day. Like, that sounds nice. Maybe like upper 70s, low 80s is nice. I can't tell you what that is in Celsius, but I can tell you that I like a 23 Celsius day. So maybe it's about the same. I'm not sure. Right? It's still not internalized yet. Still working on it. If you're willing to be imprecise, then a kilometer is about a mile. Yeah, but it's not. It's like saying I'm about as tall as you. I'm not. In the big picture, yes. Compared to a house, I'm about as tall as he is. That's funny. Okay, so let's see. We talked to the elf. He says, Bingo wants to know of interesting places to explore along the Great River. Well, there are a few locations he might find exciting, but I cannot guarantee his safety. I suppose if he has come this far from his home, he must be a formidable adventurer, or in the company of one. To the south, you can find the old burrows, which were once the home to peaceful creatures of nature. They've recently been claimed by the ferocious wargs, so if Bingo wishes to see them, he would be wise to do so with caution. To the southeast, you'll find Foul Maw's Den, where lives a mighty bear, gray of coat but black-hearted. You would be wise to stay away from Foul Maw, but he is of tremendous size, and an encounter with him might make for a thrilling chapter in Bingo's book. Okay. Well, there we go. Okay. Cool. Before I just found out the Eurovision 2023 MP3s, we can get them on Friday. Awesome. I saw you looking that up over there. It's really funny because we do Eurovision differently. So what he's going to do is he's going to get all the MP3s and then he's going to make like a playlist of it. But it's going to be anonymized. So you won't know what country it is. What else do you anonymize? Well,
all the data.
Okay, he takes out all the data. So you don't know what the name of the song is, what country it's for, who the singer is, any of that. He takes that all out and just makes a playlist of just the songs and randomizes them. So they're not in the same order as they are like on the CD or the MP3s. So then he just listens to them. He makes notes of his thoughts about what he thinks about the songs, first impressions. And then during Eurovision, he'll watch it and kind of update those impressions based on their live performances, right? And then kind of gives it a score. Oh, can you take care of the cat? She just threw up. Yeah. She's been doing this lately. I'm hoping it's just hairballs because it's spring, and she's going through a few of those. Poor thing. Next time we go get their claws trimmed, might have the doctor take a look at her though, make sure nothing's okay. Nothing's a problem. So before he does that, so he can judge them with as little country bias as possible. Now, I, on the other hand, love all the behind-the-scenes stuff. Not necessarily this behind-the-scenes stuff, but, the Eurovision behind-the-scenes stuff. So I want to know, where they're from, how long have they been singing, what got them, why do they want to be in Eurovision, all the details. I love hearing all their little background stories, all of this stuff. And so I am definitely more into all the bits and bobs and stuff. So I will do that, but then I have to be really careful not to say anything when I'm listening to a song. If we're listening to something, we're both listening to it, I'm like, oh, that's Sweden. I'd be like, no, don't say that, So it's, we approach it differently. It's really funny. So Icebreakers, hi, welcome to the stream. Sorry, we just got off on a little tangent about Eurovision. But we're going to go find Foul Maw's Den and try and get some action adventure for Bingo here. Oh, before I do that, though, I might as well just go ahead and open my Hobbit gift here. So let me get that. Okay, now I'm curious. Anybody speak German in the group? Because in the chat over on World Chat somebody speaking German now. I'm kind of curious what they talk about. It looks like they're trying to figure out what's the emote for something.
There's a lookup
Sit.
forums.
Looks like they're trying to find sit. Huh. Why would that be so hard to figure out? Oh, it's seated. It's not sits. It's not sit. It's seated or something like that. Okay, never mind. Anyway, tangent, language tangent. Should be fun. Yeah, that's it. Sits in. But they found sits vest. F-E-S-T. How funny. Okay. Anyway, sorry I forgot to open my Hobbit gift. I opened it and then I didn't do it. Let's see what we got. We got a minor potion of power and 20 virtue XP. All right. Thanks. All right. Do you want to follow me and we'll go get some action and adventure? Awesome. Yes, Icebreakers, what's his top ranking for this year's Eurovision? Yeah, it hasn't happened yet. We should be able to get the songs. Oops, I went the wrong way. We were just talking about that Friday the songs will be available online. Although
They're available before then, but that's when we can buy them from Amazon and I can anonymize them.
oh, okay. He's gonna buy them electronically on Friday. Anyway, so, and he's going to anonymize them, but I know some of the videos of some of the performers have already come out, though, and I've started watching some of those because there's a Hobbit group that I'm a part of, and they were talking about Eurovision, and, like, the Finnish one was shared in the group, and I think, no, not, who did the Give That Wolf a Banana? Who was that last year? Was that Norway? I think that was Norway. So their song is out. No wolves, no bananas. Yeah. Oh, the old burrows have been overrun with wargs. Bingo writes feverishly. Okay, so now we gotta go find the den.
Yeah, Norway.
It was Norway. Yeah. Okay. That's the funny thing is you get so, for me, and I'm reasonably new to Eurovision because we just moved to Europe 4.5 years ago. And didn't really get into it when we were in the US. It's really hard to get in the US, like to get access to watching it or anything. It has been in the past, at least. They might be opening it up a little bit more now. But yeah, in the last couple of years, we've just gone nuts. So for me, what I find is that I get so attached to a song and a performer and whatnot. And then the next year, it'll be a totally different style of music and everything from that same country. And it just throws me off because I'm like, yeah, but I really liked the Roop, bring them back. Or, oh my gosh, words just stopped. Iceland, Daddy Freyr, and that whole crowd that he had going on. Like, his stuff was so cute. And so I'm like, no, just bring Daddy Freyr. Just send him every year from Iceland. But of course you can't just do that. You have to, switch things up. So it's just funny. Oh, maybe that's what it was. It sits in a sit, but Sight's vest is stuck. I think maybe that's what it was. The person was stuck, maybe. That's what they were trying to do. So Death Hunts You asks, where in Europe did you move to? We moved to the Netherlands. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I'm like, should be going for where we're trying to go, but there's like branches over here. They're on the way. Hello, Gandalf. So, yes, so we're very excited about Eurovision, although I'm afraid I might not have it on the calendar yet, so I'm going to have to fix that. I was thinking about that the other day, and I was like, oh, I got to get the dates up on the calendar, because I enjoy watching all of it. Like, I like watching the semifinals and everything. Like, I think it's great. Oh, hey, there's Falma. The den reeks of bear and decaying meat. Bingo writes feverishly. Okay, well, you're right. We don't have to attack Falma, and that's awesome. At least not yet. Okay, so we got to go back and talk to Bingo. Hey, matron, don't worry about us. I'm going to use my campsite. So just hang out for a second. Oh, you're Dutch also. Yeah, but look. That's awesome. Yeah, we wonen vlakbij Arnhem in Gelderland. Gelderland.
I wonder why my
Luke.
Avatar did
That
not
is a vowel
suggest we
combination I have a hard
visit
time with.
nearby
The EU.
Lothlórien outpost.
Luke, Coke, and yeah, just for some reason it's like it's just a weird vowel combination. There's a lot of so for those of you who are like not Dutch speakers, which is probably most of the world. I mean, just being honest. So in English, you have a lot of what I would call flat vowel songs, like ah, just like an A, right? Or even if you put a couple of vowels together, like Tuesday, it still has one kind of sound, like Tues, right? Tues, just U. That's all it is. Whereas, yeah, the Dutch, if they have multiple letters together, sometimes it is, yeah, a diphthong. So you'd be like, ow, or I, or yeah, and even like we have a little thing on the wall I'm looking at now, and like, yeah, so yeah, it's a different way of using your mouth, and it's like, ooh. So what I try to do is I just like flatten my tongue and be prepared to just slide along with the sound, and I'm getting there. So Gaming with JT asks if I get into music much in the game. The Lotro music scene, a little bit, yeah. I really do love the Lotro music that you can do. So there's, you can play ABC files in the game. I'll talk to Bingo. Hang on, Bingo. And so I use this thing called Songbook. It's a plugin, and what it does is you have to follow the directions, but basically it creates a folder, and it looks in that folder, and then it can play ABC files that are in that folder. And so I have like this crazy long list. I got off of Lotro Interface, actually, there was a huge file, and I got a whole bunch of stuff out of that archive. So I have a bunch of songs, and I will tell you that it does impact like how long it takes things to load, because I have a lot. So really what I should do is only have the songs in there that I would actually play, but I'm still working my way through looking at them and listening to them because I want to know if I want to play them. So I have Lotro player music turned off, but you can see that she's over there playing. Oh, you're doing that by hand, aren't you? Hang on. So notice that little notes are coming up from her. Those notes are solid. Let me get a little closer. I don't know if you can see, but the notes are solid. The difference is sometimes you can have notes that have a little hole in the middle, like it's just the outline of the note. Because those were solid, those meant that she was literally playing live. Whereas I'm guessing you're about to play an ABC file. And these notes, see how they have a hole in the middle? They're hollow. That means it's coming from a file, like you're just playing through a file that you've already got. So there's your little piece of trivia for the day. That's so cool. Yeah, I am not capable of playing live. Well, I guess I could. I could do like dun 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 dun.
You're welcome to turn and play music if you want.
Yeah, I'll just leave it. The reason I have player music turned down during my streams is because if I ran across somebody playing something and it was copyrighted, I don't want us to get hit, by a copyright violation. Not here on the official channel. That would be sad. But I am hoping to put together a music event on Treebeard, and I'll probably have somebody stream it, so people can watch it who aren't able to actually be there. So yeah, okay. So yes, have to make sure keeping up with the beverages. Okay, so let's talk to Bingo though. He's sitting here very patiently waiting for us.
I wonder why my Avatar did not
He says something
suggest
occurred to me
visit
while we were
nearby
exploring the old
Lothlórien
burrows and Falbaugh's
outpost.
den. There's an outpost of Rohan not far from here. I see a cat. Oh, hi. I could see the shadow of her tail over on you. Oh, that's awesome. Sweetie, I hope you're feeling better. Okay, so let's see. There's an outpost of Rohan not far from here, but the elf we spoke with did not suggest that we pay a visit to the folk there. They are neighbors, but I wonder if there's some bad blood between them. It would have been rude to ask him, so I don't regret failing to investigate further, but I think I would like to pay a call on these neighbors when we set forth again. It'd also be nice to get a full picture of the situation here along the Great River for my book. Okay, so now each time you finish like a cluster of the Bingo Boffin quest lines, it'll say, okay, next week, because they used to be introduced week by week, and they still are on this server. We just happen to be behind again. But when the next expansion opens up, when we go up to level 85, Bingo will again progress week by week. So that'll be, we did that in the early weeks during the server, when the server was first open. Every week we would like anticipate and do the next one, but we have fallen behind with him this time. So next week is the quest Unusual Friends, and it is recommended that you're level 72 or higher for that. Okay, so we're gonna finish this. Hey, it's next week. Ta-da! It's nice though, you know, time travel like that. Sorry, the sun's just coming around and hitting B4 in the face now. They have to have more curtain closing happening. Anyway, so Unusual Friends. The outpost of Stangard. Oh, cool witch, time for meeting. Have fun, y'all. Have fun. Good luck at your meeting. We'll see you next week, hopefully. Yeah, so the outpost of Stangard is a short distance to the south, but none of the elves here will speak of it to me. That is not very neighborly. Do you think there may be some unfortunate slight behind these poor feelings? It might have taken me some time to return Poppy's ball of twine or Miramax's teapot, but I did eventually. So that's back in the at the beginning. Do you think something similar happened between the elves and the Rohirrim? Let us go south to Stangard and ask someone about it at the front gate of the outpost. Perhaps we can ease these poor feelings in some way. And if we cannot, at least I will obtain some more material for my book. But I hope we can help. All right. So let's see. So now we need to go all the way down here to Stangard. Shall we ride? A reminder to buy the mithril coins. Thank you. All right, so we're going to ride ourselves down to Stangard. Oh, we probably should go out the other door. It's the south. Yeah, you're happy here? Okay. This connects to the road. Yes, that's true. If you go north and then turn to go south, I guess that also works. Road. But there's no branches. So I'm just, disappointed. No branches yet. Oh, wait, here's some. At least my map tells me so. Oh, did I take floating names off again? I did. Yes, can barely see the branches for all the trees. So this is Kato, for those of you who are late to the stream. She is 9 years old tomorrow. Oops, I'm caught behind a tree. What am I doing? Oh, hey, branches. She and her cohort, Casper, were at a shelter a year ago, and we were looking for cats. And so it turned into a good combination. We brought them home. So they've been with us, well, it'll be a year next month. So, whoops, some more branches. I'm going to grab these real quick. They're still a little cautious sometimes, which is interesting, because like they kind of know us by now. But the house has been a little chaotic at times. I mean, we've had construction going on up on the top floor for a little while, it seems like. And they're not a fan of, people with somebody wearing big shoes. If they hear shoes clomp, 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 man, they just do not like that. So I'm thinking it's a combination of a couple of things. It could have been their old owner. Maybe that was a signal like they were going to, I don't know, go do something, go somewhere or something. But also, we were gone to the U.S. for a visit around Thanksgiving, and we had a friend come by and feed the cats while we were gone. And when we got back, they were very nervous. Like they wouldn't come out for him. They were often in hiding, and even when we got back, like they were very hesitant to hang out with us at first. It took them, like a couple of days to warm back up to us. Yeah, maybe a couple hours, but still, it was unexpected. So I think that they were perhaps in a situation where their previous owner maybe got, ill and left, because that's how they ended up in the shelters. Their previous owner died. And so I wonder if, like, they were just fed at the house, but not really interacted with, and whoever did so also had long, large, clumpy shoes. And so they were, like, back in that mindset, So yeah, they still don't like the sound of shoes. It's so funny, because, like, we could come in, and as soon as we take our shoes off, they're like, oh, it's just you. We're fine. It's just like, it's the same person. Well, let's see. Here's Bingo. He says, well, this is Standguard. Let's see what is going on here.
What is going on here?
What is going on? All right, Gate Guard, what do we know? He says, unusual friends. He says, you halflings, yes, we are a group of halflings, that's true, may have come to stand guard with a desire to see our lands, but this is not a holiday retreat. There's nothing here for you or your friend. You are not the first peculiar visitors. I have turned away from this outpost, though you certainly are the shortest. What is it that draws such unwelcome guests hither? This very morning, a rough and uncouth woman sought to gain entrance to stand guard, but I turned her away, as is my duty. If you find her somewhere to the northwest, perhaps the three of you can journey with haste away from Rohan. When last I saw her, she was headed in the direction of Frithstan's camp. May the three of you find your way to some other land. Okay. And I assume his other thing is...
The Rohirrim have need of your services.
Yeah, it's dealing with the quests chain. We're not going to take that yet, because we're not here in our quests yet. So, Bingo.
Well,
He says, well, that was quite a rude greeting. Perhaps the animosity between the elves and the Rohirrim is not the result of a borrowed item unreturned after all. If this fellow does not want me to come inside, I will respect his wishes. Perhaps we should find this woman of whom he spoke and see if she needs our help. Sabert may not care if she runs afoul of some beast, but he should feel some responsibility if it were to happen. He said she went to the northwest. All right, let's go take a look to the northwest. You want to just run through town? I mean, we can. So yeah, we didn't get a lot of information about them. Although, I mean, the shelter, the son of the person who died is the one who surrendered them to the shelter and gave information. And there was like a full sheet of questions, like, blah, 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 and they'd answer the question. And, blah, 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 and they'd answer the question. So we got information in that regard from the shelter about the cats. And you can kind of, like, draw some conclusions. Like, for example, there was a question about, like, do they get along with other animals? And there was something about how she doesn't like, what was it? What is it, the weasels? The thing that watch for weasels. Who is that? What is that? Ferrets. That's it, thank you. So there was something about how she doesn't like ferrets, but there was nothing about him and ferrets, like whether he likes them or doesn't like them. So that led me to think, well, using my detective skills, perhaps she has lived with ferrets and perhaps he has not, things like that. Oh, hey, we have found somebody. A tall woman stands outside Frithstan's camp and calls for you. Hello.
I
Who
would
are you?
advise you to avoid
She is
Steingard
Langhar.
if you've not come from there already.
And she says, I bid you welcome, travelers, and I would advise you to avoid Standguard if you've not come from there already. The men of that place do not recognize their own friends or allies, even if they have need of them. I am Langhar of the line of Bjorn, and I have set forth from the vales of Anduin at the command of Grimbjorn. Orcs threaten the shores of the great river, and someone must beat them back. The men of Rohan cower behind their walls, and they refused my offer of help. They are fools. If I returned to Grimbjorn with this tale, I am certain he would send me elsewhere and leave the Rohirrim to fend for themselves. But the Vales of Anduin are not far from here, and any victory by the orcs here might endanger my own home. So I will help the fools of Standguard, whether they accept it or not. If you would help me in this, defeat orcs throughout the Wailing Hills. I am a skin changer and more than capable of felling these foes, but it seems the supply of them is never ending. All right, let's go see what we can do. Bingo stares at Langhar with both fear and awe. Oh, not yet. Not yet? Oh, checking in. Oh, yeah, no.
help her with
Anvard,
that
we are
task.
still hanging out with the Bingo. So, yes. It's up to you if you want to know where we are. But I assume you do not, because you probably don't want any spoilers. And I'm not sure. I didn't actually check the wiki to see how far we have. So, yes, no spoilers. La 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 la, not listening, right? All right. So Bingo says we should help her with her task. I have heard some frightening things about the Bjornings, but she seems to have the right idea as far as orcs are concerned. So let's do it. Let's go beat up on some orcs. Orc, orc, orc. Orc, orc. I mean, that's always a good pastime. She's sitting on the arm of the couch now. You can almost see her. There we go. Yes, because I know the cat content is like, you know, some of the premium content here. Here, come on. We know it's the exciting stuff here. It's Bingo, Boffin, and the cats. Of course. Yeah. So we're playing on Treebeard, so we have an extra effect that hits us from time to time, as you may have noticed. Because we are playing on deadly difficulty. Wah. Hey, Dame Hypatia, welcome. Hello, dear gentle hobbits. I like it. We are following Bingo around, and we started in Lothlórien, but now we have headed into the Great River with him. Yes, the gentlest of hobbits. So yeah, I probably should have put Great River in the title, not Lothlórien. Oh well. I'll fix it for the. We did start in Lothlórien. He was waiting for us in Lothlórien, but he quickly sent us off to the Great River. So you know what? When I put the video up on YouTube, I will make sure to change the title to probably to Great River, because that's more accurate. And also, if somebody was looking to be like, "Hey, what's the Bingo questline in the Great River look like?" They would be more likely to find it with an accurate title. I have given up on the hope of doing timestamps on all my videos, though. It's just not going to happen. I mean to, but that means I got to go back and watch the video, and it's just a little weird sometimes to watch myself. So, yeah. So I suppose if anybody else is like, watches it and was be like, hey, I would love to provide you with the timestamps, let me know. I'll take them and add them into the description. You know, we still need spiders. I might hit that spider. It's too far away, but I'm a hunter. How is anything too far away? Come on. Oops, I pulled them both. NPC Nate says, how long have you been playing? Well, today, for like an hour and 3/4. But in general, Lotro, I started playing about 4 years ago in January. Now there's a cool thing you can do where you do backslash and then played. Sorry, forward slash and played. The other one. Slash, you know, that way slash. And it'll tell you how many minutes your character has been played for. And so this character, I have played them in total. So not calendar time, but like actual, like by the clock time. 2 months, 17 hours, 5 minutes and 20 seconds. Oh. I wonder if they are also hunting. I would say there's plenty of orcs to hunt. Oh, they're hitting a spider. Okay. Oh yeah, talk to Bingo. We're ready to go. Oh, Megan says, I like your character's new outfit. Thank you. Yes, I do enjoy putting together fun outfits. Oh, how funny. I just realized we're both wearing hats. A lot of times I go without a hat on my characters because I try to put them in cute little hairstyles, but there's some really cute hats in the game too, though. So it's kind of like, and they accessorize well. Like, I love being able to dye things to match. Hey, we discovered a 5th stance camp. We were just here. So like the ribbon around the hat, I probably dyed it. Yeah. So I enjoy playing with the dyes and seeing how different things can come together. Like this dress isn't normally purple or blue. It's what is it normally? Hang on. Now I can't remember. I am curious. I think it's called the peacock. Oops. Peacock dress. Yeah, it's normally like this darker blue. and I really liked it in the lighter blue. Yeah. So I dyed it maybe turquoise or something. And then I dyed the hat so it would match up. So yeah, I have fun doing stuff like that. And I usually have her carrying food because, you know, she's a hobbit. Okay, so Bingo says, I have seen more than my share of orcs by now, but we are truly making these lands more safe with each meeting, aren't we? Well, it is good we encountered Langhar here, and instead of continuing elsewhere. She is the first Bjorning I have ever met, and she is not what I expected. There have been stories about her people even in the Shire, and many of them portray the line of Bjorn as being bloodthirsty and angry, more beast than man. It is true that Langhar has no mercy for her enemies and does not speak well of the men of Stangard, but I am moved by the realization that she carries out her duty despite the outright rejection of those it serves. She helps those who refuse her help. I wonder how many of us would do the same. Gaming with JT asks, are you multiboxing? I am not. Affadil is being controlled by B4, who happens to be sitting next to me here, and is streaming after me. So I'll be finishing up here in like 15 minutes or so, and then B4 will be streaming, and he does a stream called Plugging Along, where he talks about the Lotro plugins, which are a lot of these things that you see up on my screen, because I really enjoy the plugins. And B4 does some plugin development, and so he'll be talking about plugins and working on a plugin during the stream. Which one are you working on today? Deed Tracker. Awesome. So Deed Tracker is this little darling right here. And it is set up to accompany the the cat, the deed log that is native in the game. But it allows you to do things like you can search, because there's a search bar here. It allows you to see how far you are in terms of percentage of deeds completed in a particular area. So it's got a lot of really interesting features that draws from the same information, but allows you to look at the data in a different way. The Deed Tracker plugin, he built it off of the back of a different plugin, Rebuilding Hitbold, that would track how to rebuild Hitbold for you. And that was probably back when Rebuilding Hitbold was in the earlier days, and before they made it cheaper and therefore a lot easier to do it, and so you might have to do more tracking of things in the past. So anyway, so he built the Deed Tracker based off of the Rebuilding Hitbold plugin, and that plugin obviously has a lot less information, just Hitbold versus all the deeds of the entire game. So there's some scaling differences. So what he's been doing now is going back into the Deed Tracker and modify. He went and did a huge bunch of work that he's been doing on stream, actually, a lot of it, modifying some of the programming that was there and setting it up so it scales differently for the future. So anyway, I think that release came out, I believe, last week. So I think he's got some things to tidy up. There were some things that like that. So he's working on that. So that's what he'll be doing on on his stream. Megan says, "Aw, I always wish your streams were longer. You're my favorite background noise while I work." Well, that's quite the compliment. Thank you very much. If my voice could hold out longer, I probably would do it. I don't know what it is. Well, I have a theory. It could be bunnies. But more likely is years ago, oh my gosh, we're talking like 10 years ago or so, I had a cold, or I was coming down with a cold, and I was at a board game convention, and they had a board game auction there, and I had just come from Gen Con not long before that, where I had been working in the auction room and had the opportunity to do some auctioneering at Gen Con, which was so much fun. And so they needed some help with the one that was happening at the gaming convention in Denver. And I was like, well, I can auctioneer for a time. Sure. So I then, and it was like, this is like an 8-hour auction. And so we would take turns, but there were long stints sometimes. And I think I stressed out my voice then, because I've noticed since then, it doesn't necessarily recover as quickly. So that's really interesting. So I just think it could be from that. But so that's why I don't do like those marathon streams, like, you know, the 10 hours or whatever like that, is because my voice just will not hold up. So, yeah. NPC hates it. Is there a plugin to resize the item icons in my bags? Because I can't see them without a magnifying glass. Oh my gosh, I wish. Now you can, and you probably already know this, but in the options, under UI settings, I believe it is, yeah. If you scroll down, you can toggle the size of some things, like floating text size, tooltip display size. Like you can toggle, you've got like sliders, so you can do some various things. Like here's this section, especially UI scale. This will globally increase or decrease the size of the UI elements. But I don't think there's anything in the bags, right? Like, I think that all is the same no matter what. Because, like, I can make my buttons down here on the bottom bigger or smaller. I can make the radar bigger and smaller. You know, my little doodles here bigger and smaller. Like, all of that kind of stuff you can adjust, but I don't know that you can do anything with the stuff in your bags. I'm sorry. Oh, that's a good point, though. B4 points out, see, and this is why I knew he would have a good answer for this, that there are plugins that act as inventory replacements. So you're not looking at your bag, but you're looking at a plugin that's looking at your bag, basically. And so it's theoretically possible to increase the visual size, but it's a bit complicated to do so. Yeah, yeah. Now, funny thing is, I mean, from a user usability standpoint, you know how you've got your quest log over here? Well, he made like a plugin that you just shove it behind your quest. It goes behind your quest log, and it makes that area darker, so you can see your quest log a little bit more easily. So it wouldn't surprise me if he, like, some of these little niche ideas, like you could have a plugin that looks at your bag and makes, you know, like, it wouldn't surprise me if he did something like that someday. But yeah, so as B4 points out, it's complicated to code, so no one's done it yet. So that'd be the thing. It would not be an easy one stream kind of thing. I mean, like, that would be a couple months of work probably to make that happen. Manhandler mentions that spring allergies definitely meme your voice personally. Yeah, that's true. That's a good point. I know, like, we just both had like this horrid cold, and it just, like, oh my gosh, it's been yucky. So, Mama Bird, bunnies aren't just cute like everyone supposes. What's with all those carrots? Why do they need such good eyesight anyway? I know I have to be careful if I, like, go into to song. It might, because there used to be this whole thing where you would play the Buffy episode Once More with Feeling, and you could play it like at a convention, and just like kind of like a Rocky Horror Picture Show, people would like get up on the stage while the movie was being shown, or the episode was being shown, and like perform out what the characters in the episode were doing, and it was so much fun. You know, it's like they got the mustard out, just so much fun, and that went on for a while, but then something changed, and whatever company that owns it, and it could have been Joss Whedon, it could have been the company, not 100% sure, but the bottom line is they were like, no, you cannot do this anymore without paying for I don't know, you'd have to pay a ridiculous amount, more than a convention could afford to do this, and it was annoying. So you just have to be careful, you know. I just try to be careful. So I no longer could do the Buffy sing-along, and what was the other one? There was like always a pair of them that we did together. Oh, that and the Doctor Who, not Doctor Who, but yeah, Doctor Horrible sing-along vlog. So we would do that as well. So like you'd have those two back to back, and we would perform those, and it was so much fun. Not allowed to do that anymore. Too bad, because that was a
saw an
lot of
eagle
fun.
in the skies to the north.
All right, so our Bjorning friend, she says, well, very good, my new friends. You have done well to fight the orcs, and certainly better than the cowardly men of Stangard could have done. I too fought the orcs along the Wailing Hills, and as I searched for foes to defeat, I saw an eagle in the skies to the north, and I watched it descend into a stand of trees. The eagles have been on good terms with my people for many years. We should go to him and learn what he has seen from the heights. Such knowledge might be of use to me as I seek to accomplish my task. Well, okay. Now, we're coming up on that time. Yeah? Okay. Are you... Ben you binocular? Okay. All right. So you know what? I think this is actually a really good point to stop. And we can, like, stare adoringly at a great eagle at the beginning of the next stream. So, yeah, so I think I am going to kick it over to B4. We might take a small break in between our two streams here and like do little bio breaks and stuff, but he should be getting ready to go. So we'll put a little thing up and you'll be able to see how soon he'll be ready to go. So thanks, Megan. Megan says, have a good rest of your week. Megan, I don't know if you were here at the beginning of the stream, but I am going tomorrow and we are making a donation. Well, I'm making the hair get off my head so I can mail it in for the donation. So next week, I will look very different up here, at least. Because I'm probably going to go pretty short because I want to donate as much as I can. I went through the trouble of growing it. I want to send it away and as much as I can. Yes, I'll be a brand new woman. I wish, man. I'd love to have like better muscles and everything. That would be awesome too. Maybe that's it. It's just the weight of my hair has been holding me back. So we'll see. And yes, and not the intestines. That's a whole nother musical. All right, everybody, thank you so much for a fantastic afternoon. I hope you have a lovely rest of your week. I hope the weather is fantastic where you are because I am loving it. Have a great time and remember to stay in touch with the Hobbit side of your heart, and I will see you next Tuesday, same time, same place. All right, thanks everybody. Bye-bye.